toss out the window and got fired from my last job.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I don't have nothing here.
I don't have any. Yeah, we're showing some mic action there.
There we are. No, we're not there. Why don't we have? We have music here. We
Hello.
have sound here.
Test,
Nothing
test,
in the
test.
Headphones. Hello. You got anything in your headphones?
I have nothing in my headphones. Not even anything between them.
Okay. Folks, this studio has gotten so oppressively hot that
I'm wearing shorts.
we have nothing. Can you hear us? Because I have nothing in my headphones.
Nope.
At all. If you can hear me, you hear me. Okay, good morning. Then I don't have to. I don't need these.
I don't need them. I don't either either.
I don't need these as long as you can hear me, and it appears that we have a signal, but I don't hear a thing in the headphones. It is so hot in this studio as to be sinful, as to be embarrassing, as to be not right, unfair. It's not ethical. It's nothing you can think of that's positive in this studio. I don't know. I am here. They say they can hear me on Facebook. Okay. The mic's good. Can you see if we're on the air? Because I don't have a signal, which may mean something. And if it does, we'll just call today.
Yep.
And we'll hook up next week. Because I'm not going to fight technology on a Friday. But I can tell you that it is not right that we operate in these conditions.
That's right.
And it's got absolutely nothing to do with magic.
So I show us to be on Facebook without any problems.
Well, the only way for us to be on Facebook without any problems is for the sound to be going through these microphones.
That's
even
right.
though we can't hear it.
And I bathed today too.
Yeah.
Look, I got all prettied up to be on Facebook.
Lilo just texted me from Magic saying that the music is still on. I hear you, but you're drowning in enchilada music, is James Kerr on radio, but music is killing me. Let's go to Palmas. So Bill Posey's trying to turn off the sound over there. I don't know if he's been successful. Why don't you go check?
Yep. I'll
See
be right
if
back.
Bill's been successful getting the radio off. Tell you what, folks, we run a varsity program in a JV organization, and I'm very frustrated. I don't lie about that. Let me get a hold of, and there's no reason to lie about it, right? I'm tired of it. 60 years old. This place is not good. It's 80 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high today. Did you get it fixed? Yeah. Heading to a high today of 98 here in the Crossroads. Chances of rain, scattered showers. It's those summer showers that you see it raining, but it never hits the ground because it's too dang hot. 80 to 90. The weather brought to you, 80 to 98. The weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Feed. For everything you need, there is Deerland Feed. One thing about it, our sponsors are consistent. Our sponsors are still here. They do their part. What
You
are
are
you,
on
what
the
are
app.
you pointing at?
You are on the app.
I'm glad to be joined by my friend Junior Samples here in the South Texas TV studios where everything is great. We've got tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment that in essence is in an Instapot in a
That is the way of
building
putting it.
in a building on Laurent.
Yeah.
The equipment is deteriorating at a high rate. We had to do a hard reboot. The reason we were close to being late this morning is we had to not just reboot the computer, unplug it, turn everything off. You guys know I'm not technologically advanced, and my Navy man next door was on a steamship. So very, very frustrating. And I'm sorry, the heat brings out, so be aware of this when you're driving around. Heat brings out road rage. Heat brings out anger. Heat brings out all types of emotions that as humans.
That's correct.
We, and by the way, even as a conservative person in this liberal, crazy society we live in, I've gotten to where I feel more comfortable expressing that, hey, I'm a victim here.
Yeah.
Because even as a conservative person, you become jaded, accustomed to, hostage by your environment.
Well, I mean, you pay good rent for a place
Not
in
always.
good faith that they're going to keep the air conditioning going.
Well,
And then it's a steam bath up here. It's got to be every bit of 95 to almost to 100 degrees in here.
no, it's at least 95 in here. I'm not exaggerating. The landlord's a dear friend of mine. I get it. We all have things going on. But I mean, this is
Come
to
on.
the point where, well, you know, there's tenants are leaving.
I heard that Jeannie Morrison's
Jeannie
leaving.
Morrison's office is
Yeah.
closed. People have quit paying their rent. It's just unacceptable. We went through supply chain issues. We went through the winter. In the winter, it's cold. In the summer, it's hot, and that's indoors, and that's not why you live in South Texas.
Yep.
Daniel Wade White's in this morning. Patricia Nagel, good morning, ma'am. Patricia Nagel, you know, First State Bank. Louise.
Yes. Isn't that the one that does the Astros Minute?
She does the Astros update.
Yes.
The Astros update. Astros traveled and landed successfully yesterday on a day off. They'll be playing again tonight. Christina Wise, Jay Glass, be Justin Glass, Linda Christ.
Good morning,
her.
Sugar.
Roy Gutierrez.
He was supposed to have called me.
He doesn't. Little Brown
about some
talking.
bees.
He said manana, didn't he? Did he say manana? Manana doesn't mean tomorrow. Manana means not today.
Well, there's a phone number issue.
He was probably on his burner.
Yep. Well,
Roy's a
supposedly
great
he has
guy.
some honey buzzard problems that I need to look at.
Great guy, great friend. Greg Garcia, Stephanie Conti, Daniel Wade White. Not a serial killer.
Not a serial killer.
No, good guy. Let's see. We got Linda, Judge Posey. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Judge.
Greg Garcia, H.R. Mallory. Hello, H.R.
Brian Small.
B. Small, he's awesome. B. Small, wish you give us Friday afternoon call here, 894-4020.
I like it when he gives me crap.
361-894-4020. We would love to have your call, although we can't hear you on the headphones, so
Yeah, that's
don't
right.
do it. No. Judge Posey, look at Judge Posey. He's still a lawyer at heart. What's the explanation you continue to get for no AC? Supply chain issues, part issues. Roy says, yes, I will call you, Junior. I'm glad that I could be here to facilitate you two guys getting together. If you don't like the waiting card program, just swipe left and you can go to another opportunity to meet a single man in bad laundry.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Hey, I like this shirt, man. This is a Columbia.
Those are Marlins. That's
Yes.
nice.
I caught me a Marlin.
Roy Goit, if he had like a salt deficiency, Roy Goiter errors,
Goiter area.
he could say, I've been tied up with work. Bees are still there. Leave those bees alone, man. They're just trying to get by.
If they're not bothering you, don't bother them. They'll be fine, and then we'll get to them when it gets cooler.
True story. So lots to talk about today. As reported here yesterday, the folks on the Titan submersible, crushable, dirigible of underwater exploration are dead. 5 of them went down. None
Instantly.
of them came up.
Yep.
They didn't feel a thing.
Nope.
That's a true story. It was over like that. The implosion, you start thinking about the vessel collapsing. Once breached, it happened so quickly that they were probably vaporized.
Well, the guy that built that thing ignored all of the advice that he was given and built that thing out of a Bud Light can.
Yeah, it was it had a rainbow on it.
Yeah.
No, it's too soon. Like Dawn said yesterday, there's nothing funny about the loss of human life. I said, no, I agree 100%. I do. But
How could these
how
comedians
dumb you
sink so
got to
low?
be? How dumb you got to be to go get in a 20-foot-long submarine and go, sure, if it doesn't say United States Navy on it, I'm not going below
Absolutely.
5,000 feet in the ocean.
Absolutely. I'm too claustrophobic to get into one of them things.
Absolutely. Ash and I disagreed yesterday, folks. Ash says hi to everybody. He's in Canada, and he's not up because it's 2 hours earlier there.
And cooler.
Yo, man, he's just in the cool breeze. Lisa Poole, good morning. Scott Snow, good morning. But Ash told me, because I made the comment, it's kind of like being at a ball game, assumption of risk, right? There's nobody liable here
Exactly.
but you. Ash said, well, I said, I would not have dispatched the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe millions of dollars, Coast Guard, the British Navy, AWACS planes, the Canadian Navy. And Ash goes, well, I mean, we do that for everybody. People get lost at sea. The Coast Guard goes out. That's their job. Okay. But when the Coast Guard goes out to rescue somebody.
That's mainly a surface rescue.
Right. Or if they go out to rescue somebody who's fallen off a cruise ship. That's one thing. When you're going out to rescue people who have a for-profit operation, remember they got $250,000 from each one of these people that went down. No pun intended. At the end of the day, they ought to have their own rescue team out there.
You know, especially a company with this much money behind
Absolutely. So that's the point. I mean, it's like somebody said yesterday, Callie Fromme said yesterday, hi, James Kurth. How much of that money could have been spent on sex traffic,
Absolutely.
border security, whatever. I don't know.
Exactly.
I know that you're looking at that. You and I left here yesterday. We didn't touch a thing. We came back. The headphones don't work.
It's the heat.
Yeah, it's not cool, man, and that's not a pun. What makes it interesting to me about, and I am a little bit of a conspiracy guy because
like
nothing
conspiracy.
surprises me anymore.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I'm to the
If I
point.
found out tomorrow that Hunter Biden killed his brother to marry his wife, I'd believe it.
It wouldn't faze me.
The weird thing is that the Navy is now saying that they heard the sounds
Right.
of the implosion
Like 2 hours after they
on
went down.
Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah. So there was a breach in the ship, and they got down to, say, 10,000 feet,
Kaboom.
and it crushed it. And why, other than, I'm just throwing this out there, why, other than the breaking news on Monday of Hunter Biden's plea deal,
Isn't that interesting?
did the United States Navy sit on the information of, hey, these people might have a problem? They may really have a problem. And if so, is it all a lie that they heard banging from the depths?
You know, I
Because
asked,
there
I
would
was
be
talking
no
to Linda
banging
about
unless that was a Chinese sub cruising through there.
You know, yeah, exactly. I asked Linda about this. What was the banging? If they exploded like days before, what was the banging? You
Yeah,
know?
I don't get it. Yep,
I don't understand it. I mean, there's just too many unanswered questions that'll never get answered. So, aliens, that's it.
James Kurt, see who put this up here? It was cute. James Kurt, billionaires made themselves disappear and move their money to offshore accounts.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great thought.
No
I didn't
doubt.
Think about that.
They weren't even actually on it.
Yeah. Toodles.
Not a bad.
You know, that's
play.
kind of an Atlas Shrugged thing.
Yep.
Because all the billionaires and millionaires disappeared and went to that little disclosed place in Colorado.
Yeah.
Great book.
Richard King says the computer in his truck shut down the other day because it said it was too hot. Interesting. I just wonder. So I used to say, is it possible? Then I would say, well, okay, of course it's possible.
Of course it's possible.
Is it plausible? Does it make sense that this would be a Biden cover-up, a Hunter deflection? And it does. It does make sense.
They went to a lot of expense to cover up Hunter's indiscretions.
Oh, yeah. They
guess-
now say that there, and I don't know exactly what Hunter allegedly did. They say he invoked his father's name to a Chinese delegate. I don't know if he said something like, what it would be. It would be as if he said, you better do this or this, or I'm going to get the big guy involved.
Wheels up, baby.
Yeah, and if he did do that, the laptop, which everybody now at least acknowledges, as Donald Trump told you, is Hunter's laptop. It's so interesting to me that Trump so matter-of-factly said, it's Hunter's laptop. And they remember back then, the FBI and especially the media, especially the Main Street media, Donald Trump accuses Hunter Biden of leaving this laptop, and they basically said he's got no proof. He's got no way to know that. Trump's just
Spewing off.
politicking.
Yeah.
He did say, it's Hunter's laptop.
It's got to be.
Now, nobody denies that it's Hunter. Even the DOJ doesn't deny that it's Hunter's laptop. Well, the date stamp on the time that he did whatever he did that upset the Chinese, on that date, there's pictures of him and a woman and a child, and they're blurred out. They blurred them out to protect family members. It's probably his brother's wife and kid. They're in the green Corvette in Wilmington, Delaware.
Absolutely.
And it shows that he was at his daddy's house.
Cruising around with papers flying out the back.
At his daddy's house. So
Yeah.
his dad very well could have known.
Absolutely.
You tell him the big guy's coming. Very interesting.
Well,
the
you know-
Democrats never have. The Democrats never have an answer for that. They don't have. They don't.
Well, they have an answer. It's
Well, that is the problem. I've talked to there's a fat former actor, idiot clown named Rob Reiner. He used to be Meathead on
Meathead.
and it still fits. And I've asked him, I go, I don't understand why we can't have unilateral outrage at the lack of leadership in this country. Why is it that a total breakdown of anything that resembles integrity only applies to the party that's not in power at the time?
Exactly.
If the Republicans are in power, power being a stretch of a word, if the Republicans are in the majority, then all Democrats are bad.
Well, it's always amazing that how long a Democrat's arm is when they want to reach across the aisle.
Yeah, very, very short. Alligator.
Yeah.
It's like when your
It's like
brother-in-law
T-Rex.
reaches for the check.
Yeah, it's T-Rex, you know. But on the other hand, there is some good news coming out of Washington.
Tell me.
They censured Adam
Shifty.
Schiff. Yeah, Shifty.
Yeah.
Shifty Schiff. They censored him. They shut him down. And it was because of that malarkey he made up during the Senate hearings. Okay.
B Small says, give Junior's chair a couple of pumps so we can see him. We're standing.
Yeah, we're standing up.
I'll tell you something about my friend Junior. He's wiry. I wouldn't cross him. I mean, if he and I go into a bar and somebody starts a fight, I'm going to let Junior take care of him, and whatever's left, I'm pretty sure I could whoop.
I'm going to take all the cash out of my pocket
Yeah.
and make you write a check.
I would be standing right behind Junior and saying, I wouldn't mess with him, and it's not because of me.
As I said yesterday, I may not go 2 rounds, but the first one's going to be all I got.
I tell kids all the time, old men fight for their lives.
That's right.
You kids may fight for fun. You want to run that smack? Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll buy you a beer. I'll buy you a bar.
You're going
But
to
if I
walk
hit
away
you,
going.
If I hit you, I'm trying to kill your whole family.
And any family you plan on having in the future.
Absolutely. Stephanie Connie says, he said his father was sitting right next to him, and you better do this to a Chinese Communist Party person.
Yeah.
It was in What's Up app.
Our
so
government
there you
is
go.
playing with dynamite.
What I'm telling you is, and agreeing with Stephanie Conti, is it's quite possible that his dad really was sitting right next to him.
Yeah.
When he told the Chinese guy, hey, Jack, me and Dad are on the crack,
That's right.
and you better jump back.
Absolutely. You know, they just smell crooked. Everything they've done all their life is just crooked. I mean, he voted for a lot of stuff that he's not being held accountable for back when he was a senator, a young senator, that they're not bringing up. Uh-oh.
Linda Chris comes in with, fight like you're the third monkey trying to get onto the ark.
That's right.
I like that. James Kurth.
I told her that 2 days ago.
James Kurth, not a particularly, you can tell that he's fit,
Yes.
right?
Right.
But he's not a particularly imposing person.
Nope.
Awfully pale.
No.
Very white.
But he can snap the pebble out of your
That's what
hand.
I'm saying, grasshopper. He says sometimes you run into people that write checks their ass can't cash.
That's right.
That was a slip when I said ash for ass. Freudian. It's all relative. You can see the tie-in. If you just wink a little bit, you can go there, ass, ash. Same.
That's right.
James Kerr dismantle you for fun. You know?
And then, I mean, he's kind of like our hometown, what's his name? The Texas Ranger dude.
He's exactly like Walker,
Yes.
Texas Ranger.
Yes, he is. You know, I think if he went to the Virgin Islands, they would just call it the islands after that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know who Chuck Norris is scared of?
Absolutely no one.
AJ Louderback.
Yeah.
Chuck ain't messing with
Yeah.
AJ.
Yeah.
It ain't about
I
them.
really like
it ain't
AJ
about them
Louderback.
nunchucks.
Every time you see the man, he's smiling. He's comes up and put his arm around you. How you doing, gentlemen? You know, nice
Lots
guy.
of wisdom. In fact,
Nice guy.
Sheriff Louderback just now texted me, says he's on his way. He's going to come in and say hi, but there's a bad accident on 59 southbound.
Great.
So if you're coming from Edna to Victoria, be prepared to stop. It's
Yeah.
funny how, and we're going to digress here just because it's my show. You ever have, you dream? Do you dream?
Not occasionally, no.
So-
All my dreams were squelched after my first divorce.
Really?
I'm kidding.
I dream a lot. And
Actually, I do. I dream quite.
I'm convinced that your dreams a lot of times are your subconscious trying to rationalize and work its way through the events of your days.
It's empty
and,
in the filing cabinet for the day.
And when we were in Cabo San Lucas, we took these razor rides, and
I saw the pictures.
the fun part of the deal was going up really steep grades, and then you have to plateau and having the confidence. You had to give it some juice to get up the hill.
Yeah.
But when you get to the top of the hill, you're going fast, and you've got, I got to go left, or I've got to go right. Because when you get to the top of the hill, you don't know which way the road goes.
Right.
It's just a dirt path in a sand dune. Well, that anxiety is kind of thrilling when you know you're not going to get hurt. I had, upon return to Victoria, you had to drive from Houston back down here. I have on 2 different nights had a paralyzing dream of coming over an overpass, and right when I can see the bottom, bam, there's a stacked up
The
traffic.
worst highway for that is in Corpus, the SPID, because it goes up and down and up and down. And that highway, I don't drive fast on that highway because it is absolutely terrible.
I thought it was because you were an old man.
Well, that too, yeah. And the THC kicks in, so you're only driving 10 miles an hour.
Oh my goodness! It's like, don't chase him, just follow him to the Taco Bell.
That's right.
He's not.
Dude.
He's not.
Cookie dude.
Yeah, I heard that guy was talking about marijuana use and what's the big deal and all that. He goes, what's the worst thing that can happen? They're going to rob a bank.
Never.
And have a low-speed chase.
That's right, man.
Have a low-speed chase. That's pretty good stuff. Folks, Allen's Wrecker Service, last day of the week. Remember this. Saturday and Sunday, 578-6300. Allen is your go-to tow-to.
That's right.
Reach out to Allen's Wrecker Service for any towing opportunity you have. The best of the best of the best. They don't even have a category for it anymore, even in the local paper. The VCS companies for all your communication needs.
That's
Jim,
where I got Linda's cell phone.
Jim Hartman, Miss Jennifer, JR and Kelly. Family business for 50 years now. I made that up, but I think it's close. The VCS company is handling all your communication needs. Chesnick Furniture, for sure, over 100 years in downtown Victoria. Since before there was a downtown Victoria, it was just Victoria.
I knew Bobby's dad. He used to live 2 doors down from me over in Loma Vista.
Is that when the song came out, 2 doors down, they were
2 doors
laughing
down.
and
That's
singing and
right.
having a party?
That's right.
Yeah.
And, if you're going to have a party, invite the neighbors.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Bobby Leon and his family making sure you and yours know that Chesnick and Love make your house a home, and you just always do better at Chesnick. Next Thursday, 29th, Palace Bingo.
That's
Come
right.
out and watch the caller guy go, hey, Junior, hold it down over there. Eat your
Calm
french
down.
fries. I'm
Linda's
like,
over there tugging my sleeve. Hey, dude, you're going to get us thrown out of here.
that's odd. Junior never has 2 Cokes at home. He gets all hopped up on caffeine and maybe a Benny or 2, and he's a blast to be around. Come to Palace Bingo next Thursday night, the 29th, where friends meet friends. Today's your last day to get into Veracruz. Lots of exact, superlatives, like that's it. Today's it. Get in there. Veracruz today, Veracruz next Monday. No Saturday, Sunday. So you got that. You see where I know that neither of us, for various reasons, some of which are the same, could care less about the NBA. I couldn't care any less than I do about the NBA, but it is worth
There's a
noting.
couple other of them acronyms I could give a
Yes,
stinker
it is
about,
worth
but-
noting that Victor Wembanyama, 7'4", 19-year-old kid,
19 and 7'4".
19. He hadn't hit his growth spurt yet. His brain hasn't matured.
Feed that.
Oh, well, he's kind of thin. But first pick to the San Antonio Spurs. It's been known for weeks that the Spurs had won the lottery.
Right.
And it's been known for weeks that they coveted the young Victor. He'll be one of those one-name guys. He throws the ball to Victor. It won't be Wembanyama.
Right.
It'll be Victor. I was proud of.
What heritage is Wembanyama?
I don't. He's. Somebody help me. He is from overseas. I know that. I don't know exactly where. No kidding. I would say comes off as a super gracious, educated, polite young man. He said, when I was 12 years old, I realized that things were going in a direction that if I worked hard that this day may come.
Absolutely.
And he said, and I've worked hard.
You know, you hit it on the head right there. This country is the only country in the world where somebody can come out from our borders with good intentions and end up being very wealthy, very educated, and very respected by the local.
He's French, says Ricky
French.
King,
Yep.
and which
you can't do that anywhere else.
No, and I'll tell you, the kid. So he becomes only the third number one pick that the Spurs have ever had. The first two worked out pretty good. One was David the Admiral Robinson, Navy man.
Right.
Played at Navy, 7-footer, big man, big center. The other being Timmy Duncan, both men Hall of Famers, both men multiple NBA championship winners. Timmy Duncan from Wake Forest. And then, of course, this young man at 19.
You said that guy was in the Navy at 7'4"?
7'2", I think. And yeah, that's kind of, they
How
didn't
in
want to
the-
give him a deferment or whatever.
Right.
He played basketball for the Naval Academy.
Right.
And then when it came time for him to serve, they said, you're going to serve. Very, very difficult. He did some time on a ship. They brought him back seaside. And I think they gave him like a hardship.
Let me tell you something.
exit.
I'm 5'11" and probably a half inch, and some of that's probably been whittled down over the years. And my foot hit the bottom of the rack, and my head was just like
Yeah,
inches
where do you
from the
put
top.
where do you put a
Where do you
7-foot man
put
on a ship?
7'4"?
In the Admiral's suite.
Oh, I doubt it.
He was
doubt
a
it.
great All-American basketball. He's probably on the Lido deck.
No, that
having
would be
a
the poop
Mai
deck.
Tai.
We don't have a Lido deck. It was a poop deck.
Having a Mai Tai. So hats off to the Spurs. I still don't like Greg Popovich, and that's okay. It's like you don't have
Guarantee
to.
he wasn't a submariner.
You don't have to like the coach, but Popovich is a huge raging liberal. I did respect him, and this may be one of those right man, right time, right place situations. Popovich, not too excitable. Popovich said, "I'm so excited I can barely contain myself. I hope you folks don't want me to get up and do a bunch of jumping around. I'm just too dang old." But hats off to him. He did say he's not the next Kobe, the next MJ,
Right.
the next Shaq. He just is. He's not the next Kevin Garnett or Kevin Durant. He goes, he just is Victor.
Yep.
He goes, and we're going to make Victor the best basketball player we can make. And when they interviewed the kid, he said, I'm just thrilled to death for this opportunity. He realizes he hasn't done a thing yet, but
At
been given an
19.
opportunity. And he said, I just want to get better.
Yeah, that's good. He's got-
Amen. Amen for that kid.
yeah.
So good for him and good for the San Antonio Spurs. Speaking of Wake Forest, LSU last night.
no.
Oh, no. Oh, you've cleared the room?
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to come into the room with your arms a little closer to your body. When you come in leading with the weapon out, somebody
local
could
ninja just
somebody
showed
could
up.
just take it. You might as well come on over
Come
and
on
let
over.
everybody see you. No, we're not worried about the sheriff. We know he looks good. Do me a favor. Take camera
And you
number
know,
3.
since the sheriff's gotten married, he's dressed a whole lot better, too.
You can stand right over here, boss, and take this camera and twist it so that it's on that microphone. No, there's a handle. Yeah. Yeah, don't touch anything.
Oh, this is
and get it over here.
Keep turning.
And
Keep
then
turning.
and Sheriff,
Go a little
feel
bit
free
more.
to just pull that up and adjust it to where you're comfortable,
There
sir.
you go, right char.
Yes, absolutely. It is quality equipment. I will give it that. Good
morning.
Hit 3 over there and push cut. And there you go. There, folks, is America's
live.
Sheriff, the only man Chuck Norris calls
morning.
sir.
Those are Bud Light stock certificates.
Yes.
And that's why he lost the election over there.
Those are worth about $15 billion apiece. Yeah, Junior did bring me a Carter for Mayor koozie with a Bud Light can in it. And I said, now there's a pair of losers. There's a pair of losers. Well, it didn't help.
Well,
No,
the best part is his father-in-law gave me the koozie.
unbelievable. Yeah, he didn't want it.
Oh,
he ain't proud of it.
the
You know
ultimate cut.
Joey.
Yeah, the
Yes, sir.
ultimate cut.
How are you, my friend?
Good, doing
You,
well.
you know, I tell, as directly opposed to Junior, I tell the sheriff he has an open invitation to come by any time.
Yeah, I
As
got a
opposed
bag.
to Junior tells me, hey, I'm available if you need me.
Yes,
and I
we
say,
know that.
I know. I know. Never met a microphone he didn't like. That's
Reel
Junior
it back,
Samples.
buddy. Reel it back.
Right? He's Unbelievable, this guy.
But in truth,
Good commentary, though.
I always
Oh, yeah.
say, I'll never just walk in on you. I will only come in here when you call me and go, hey, you want to come
no,
on
no,
the air? And
that's
I'm
what,
like,
you, that's what you
bet."
told Linda.
Well, I mean, you know.
Talk to the sheriff for a second, see what's going on, get the skinny on what's happening. I did just bring up, and you were there, that Wake Forest did last night fall in an bottom of the 11th inning. Oh my goodness.
Good Lord.
LSU Tigers advanced to the finals against the University of Florida in the Men's College World Series baseball tournament in Omaha. Great game. Somebody had to lose. Bottom of the 11th.
Two-run shot.
Guy threw a fastball that stayed up a little bit, and this kid just punished it. Yeah. So it ended up 2-0. There was a guy on, so 2-0 LSU. Great game, and it looks like the committee got it right when they selected all the teams.
Yep.
How are you, sir? What's happening in your world?
Oh, doing well. Doing well.
Well, I got
Staying
a
busy.
question for you. And I don't think anybody's asked you, but how's married life treating you?
Oh, we're fine.
Is
Good. Very good.
Because I know this is your first go-round.
Well, kind of.
It's only an hour show.
Okay.
We
Well,
don't-
but
We don't have time to get into all the nuances.
I just wanted to make sure that, you weren't a battered husband or nothing.
No,
Okay, now you can
The
tell us-
jury's out. You never know. When Marcy and Dawn get together, it's amazing how AJ and I go from wise old sages with lots of experience and interesting stories to tell
to them looking for
to
wheelchairs.
two dawdling old men who just babble. That's what we get at times from our
minute now.
wives.
I got to get mine home. It's time for pablum and pills.
Unbelievable. Tell us, have you had any, you and I have not even off air talked much about the border lately. What's your take on, did you see the other day we're 127 since January 1, 127 folks on the FBI terrorist watch list have been caught coming across our southern border.
Well, the important thing about it is the 127 are documented.
Right, that's
Right.
one a day, Monday through Friday,
It's the
every
other,
day.
It's the other 2,000 that are not.
Yeah, they're slipping around them.
That's the horror show that we're living. But I noticed that the Federation for American Immigration Enforcement, FAIR, along with the Center for Immigration Studies, which is CIS, which is two of the think tanks that follow the border and follow the statistics and follow a very accurate formula for seeing what's going on now. So we're currently right now 16.8 million that are in the United States, according to documented Census Bureau figures. So at 16.8, that calculates over to about $163 billion in cost to us. Now, these are illegal aliens that have not come through. Now,
And it's more than what? That's probably more than the number of people in Rhode Island, Virginia, add them together. I mean,
Well,
you got to have a major city
it's
of
a large number.
large number,
large number.
multiple states worth of people have
And-
come
and
in.
the thing about it is, these are the known numbers from the Census Bureau that have some quantified, certifiable way of getting that information. The unknown you can't quantify. So we're probably closer to 30 million here in the U.S.
Which is the
alone.
population roughly of the state of Texas or the country of Canada
Yep,
has
exactly.
entered from our southern border unabated. I mean, really? Unbelievable.
Yep.
The population of Canada has entered. Now, given that in Canada they're all communist, we get that. But here, at least, some of them are probably yearning to be free. But the population of Canada has crossed our southern border illegally.
Yeah.
That's
craziness.
That's just
Since
mind-boggling.
Biden took over, documented, we're at 2.3 million. So that's documented. Now, there's no way to quantify the number, which is much larger than that during this our president's term. So, what's Texas doing about it? What did we do? We passed some laws here in the legislative session. We're now under our state law, the cartels can be handled as a terrorist organization.
Is that right? We finally did get that done. Does that give us the open door to start seizing assets? And
It does. It does. We also passed the Interstate Compact Act, which, without congressional approval, allows other states to come in here and do certain things, which was critical for the session to do.
Meaning
also,
what? Like you could have the Georgia National Guard could come assist with our border, and the feds can't say anything about
Can't
it?
say anything about it.
I'll be dang. That's great.
So that's good. Those are pluses. And the other thing is we also gave Border Patrol with certain training to become Texas police officers, so that the ports of entry, they're able to enforce the law and enforce state law. So this is another plus. Those are the three main ones. The one thing we didn't get done, and we hope maybe in the special that we could do which probably is one of the foundational aspects of controlling this. I've always said that we need to take the federal government out of this. You can't politicize the border.
Mm-hmm.
So I always wanted to cut the federal government off at its knees and reduce state incentives. And I think this is the way that we solve a lot of our problems, and because when enforcement is low and the incentives are there, they're coming, which they're coming now. At no time have we ever had an enforcement situation like we have now, which is zero enforcement. We have an open border. So, but if we were to pass E-Verify in our state for all employers, we would start cutting the incentives off, and we would uncover the massive fraud that's going on with IDs.
At the very least, those folks would then go on and migrate further into the country, and they wouldn't be on the Texas.
I've always wanted to make it unattractive to come here as a Texan unless you want to do it legally.
I like that.
Under your name and under your with your fingerprints and all your family, fine. You come in here, work the process correctly. Right. Come in here through the state process. Come in here through the federal process. And we've always had legal immigration in this country. We always bring in close to 1 million a year of legal immigration.
Right, legally.
Now, see, that's a question that I have. Is there anything we can do that can possibly shorten the time and make it easier, or I wouldn't say easier, but faster for them to get in legally? I mean, from what I understand, it's forever to get the legal immigration taken care of.
Most of it would require congressional approval, though.
Right.
So,
there you go.
We're trying to seal the border. Junior's looking for a drive-through.
You know what? There are people in here that out there that want to come in, and they're good people. I don't have a problem with that.
I got it. There are people who want to
Junior's
come in
down
here
there going, good, bad, no, maybe, good, cute, bring her. How much for the little girl? How much? We're visiting with Sheriff A.J. Louderback, who is not only one of the nation's foremost authorities on border...
At least he said little girl.
Border enforcement. Stop. Foremost authorities on border protection, border control. And Sheriff, you've explained to our listeners before that part of the problem is that the state of Texas long ago ceded a little strip of the border to the feds in exchange. It's kind of like we sold our souls in exchange for protection, I guess, or money or something.
Well, we at the time that this happened, it was we had just gone through Mexican Revolution. They'd come over to Texas and raided several times, and of course General Pershing and all the history that goes along with that. And we were happy to concede and form the new Border Patrol in 1920s. So that was that's how we got here.
Huge number of comments over here. Everybody, Torrin Bales, Will Vincent, Linda from Welcome Sheriff, glad you're here, to Brian Small saying, when you catch them illegally, give them a free trip to the Titanic.
You know what? That's
a little
great
rough.
idea.
So, hey, come on in. We're glad you're here. We're going to take you on a cruise.
You know,
that's
terrible that he would sink so low to such comedy.
I know it's good. Everybody's getting in the big Bud Light can and going 12,000 feet down.
Bud Light can.
Unbelievable. So one of our listeners said, hey, why do I feel like Brent and Junior's relationship is like the puppy at the pound behind the glass? Brent couldn't leave without adopting. The very next comment, yes, while Junior piddles on the floor.
Oh, no.
There is the sheriff's my witness. There's a huge wet spot
That's
underneath
sweat.
underneath Junior's spot.
That's sweat.
He gets all excited, folks. We're visiting with Sheriff A.J. Louderback, and the sad thing is it's a Friday. Oh, that's Butch calling you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's my sheetrocker.
Okay, well, hey,
guy.
by all means. Butch, we'll call you back.
Yeah, buddy.
We're in the middle of a multi-state, sometimes international. We were big in Barcelona, Spain yesterday.
Yeah.
Multinational radio program.
You know I'm going to
television.
England, Ireland, Scotland in less than a month. So
All right, what am I
will
gonna
be
do
calling
without
in
you?
from those three
What
countries.
will I do without you?
And I will have a handful of Irish whiskey.
Yeah, you'll be 6 hours later. Butch.
dang it.
Go away, Butch.
Hey, Butch, I'm
Butch,
on the
we're
air,
on the
buddy.
radio, Butch.
You're on the radio. Go ahead.
We'll call you back. Quit calling us. That took
See
care
you in
of
a bit.
Butch.
Messaging.
I just ran off your sheetrocker.
No, he's all right.
What else is happening, sir? Is there? You always have good things to share. I saw where you taught another LTC class the other day. Had my brother-in-law in there.
Yes.
He was thrilled.
Did well.
A young man that has grown up, literally, Joey and
Yes.
Johnny, J4.
Is this the one from California?
No. That's Blaine, and Blaine took the class with me and Joey. But Johnny has literally grown up with a weapon in his hands, and I think he showed that on the range. But at the same time, he came to my house that evening and was just. Do you remember? Did y'all talk about and just overwhelmed at the insight that he gained about why things are the way they are and how to think about. You know, like you may say to yourself, well, I've got the castle law protecting me in the state of Texas. Just because somebody's standing in your front yard saying that you suck, which happens to like James Kurth over here like all the
frequently.
time, you can't just shoot him. It doesn't work that way. He's on my property. It doesn't work that way. Make a plate of nachos. Get him into the house. Yeah. We'll talk about that on another day. But Johnny really said totally beneficial to the point. He said, I would take the class again with all of us just for the refresher of the laws and all that.
I
without
think it would
even
be a good
needing
idea
the
for us
license.
to take it too. I've taken it, but
By the way, if
years
you're
before.
interested in
Yeah, it
getting
was
your
probably
license to
8 years
carry,
ago since I took it.
Right.
just give us a call, give us a note. We'll get you the information because Sheriff Louderback just has a lifetime of experience and is one of the original teachers of the class. So fantastic opportunity for you to learn a lot.
1995.
Been doing it
Wow.
since '95. A lot of great opportunity for you to learn a lot, and as I saw in my class, with no humor, no question is too basic. You can, his rule. I loved it when he said, "Shoot what you brought," and there were ladies out there that had never handled a gun that brought like their granddad's hog leg. Grandma's got a .44 Magnum. You're just like, all right, well, you're gonna shoot it. You hear everybody going, boom, 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 boom. She's down there. Shooting something Wyatt Earp left her. Right? No, you don't need 15. The concussion will kill him.
Gotcha.
Justin Swatowski says sheriff shoots from the hip.
Well, sir, why did you shoot him 12 times? Well, when I pulled the trigger the 13th time, it went click.
Yep. They asked, and that reminds me, there was a Michigan game playing Ohio State, and they hated each other, hated rivalry. They asked Bo Schembechler, you were up by 3 touchdowns. Why'd you go for 2 on that last touchdown? He goes, because they wouldn't let me go for 3.
Right.
I wanted to beat him as bad as I could. You got to like that. You got to like it. Mr. Carter, why did you put 3 different magazines in the pistol? He kept moving every time I shot him. I don't know. But absolutely. So the classes are still going. We're still getting full classes.
Yeah, the numbers are down, since last legislative session, not this one, where the permitless carry came in. That has diminished the classes.
But that's a shame.
It is. It's now we have a lot of people carrying guns, so we have no way to quantify that. But they don't know the law, and they are it's high risk.
Right.
Well,
carrying
you
a gun
can
in this situation.
No doubt. The one advantage to having the card is if you want to buy a weapon.
15-minute in and out.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, and I'm surmising here, but I think I'm probably right. You can put a gun in your car when you travel without a license to carry. That's all fine and good. But if you ever have to use it, it sure is nice to be able to hand that officer, here's my license and my LTC. I have been trained in what I do.
No matter what anybody says, it's best to have some training, and it's best to have a state certificate of a state-approved program to back you up. And you may learn enough in the class where we have numerous shoot situations. We have a lot of people shot in Texas every week. Those people who go to class may not shoot under those circumstances.
Exactly.
So if they know something about the law, they get themselves in trouble. So this is they're in the criminal justice system now. They don't know how it operates, and they get caught up in it. And
what are you seeing? Have you seen any that you can talk about? I know a lot of times they keep these things kind of low key, but have you seen any significant advances in campus safety of late? I know that you pioneered and helped really train some folks on the armed campus, if you will, the active shooter.
We have campus, our colleges, at our higher education. We have there has to be concealed there, but they're able to carry, with the licensing there. But I believe that the legislature made some strides this session with school safety. So, K through 12, I think we're going to be in a little bit better shape there. We've got some additional training, additional hardening of schools. So they applied pretty good dollars to it, and use some common sense in some areas, and listen to the law enforcement representation down there, and said, well, this is something we can do, and this is something we can't do. So a lot of times, if we're not there to educate them, we'll a lot of ideas in the legislature, and some of them are good, and some of them not so good. So we've got to kind of filter through those and work through the ones that make sense and are doable and are sustainable.
Right.
That's a little different story there.
Well, I know you've helped develop some programs where educators can come together in a group and be trained and support each other. It's instead of sitting around talking about recipes in the teacher's lounge, they can say, what would you do in this situation? What would you do if this happened? How would I know that you're in duress? Can you make certain that you contain the situation in that one classroom? And then the unfortunate thing, because we're always dealing with children and lots of times someone else's children, is the facing of the reality of what is an acceptable loss. Do you walk into the room and I think the number one thing you could teach the kids is, little kids, if you're ever in a classroom and somebody's here that doesn't belong, you don't have to frighten them, you have to educate them. Somebody's in this classroom that doesn't belong, and they try to keep you from leaving the room by whatever means they're doing. If somebody comes through that door, hit the ground. Everybody hit the ground.
Yeah.
And then the only guy standing is the 6-foot-tall perpetrator who can then be eliminated.
And that's a shame we have to teach our children this.
Well,
It really is. It's
It's
an
really
absolute
not,
shame.
because they used to teach us to get under the desk in case the nuclear bomb went off.
Well, I mean,
So maybe we should just today officials
was-
dropped a low-grade nuke on
if
an
we
elementary
really
school.
knew then what we knew now,
Right.
that ain't going to save you.
Degradation of society.
Yes, sir.
It is.
No doubt about it.
doubt.
I remember the days when, I wish all I had to fear was a nuclear weapon. I got to fear my own regime in
Yeah.
Washington.
Yeah.
Oh, ain't that the truth?
Unbelievable. Anything else going on?
Oh, the Alliance is doing well. We've got several things going on that legislatively with Operation Lone Star money was just announced about 9 days ago, and that grant system is now open. So we're working through several very good software packages that for all the Alliance sheriffs to do, and of course spent some time with Justin Marr here recently, and he has a very real, lawful, legitimate task force here from the HIDA.
I think Sheriff Marr's doing a fantastic
great-
job. And
great job,
Regional Sheriff's
great job.
Alliance, you guys with you know, you and Justin and like Pinky and of course we've had Pinky on
Mike
our
is,
program.
our president of the Alliance, Micah, he has a
Harmon
member on the task force, and Carl Bowen's looking at getting on there, and several others expanding the use of the task force, which is very effective. It has federal and state oversight.
Sheriff Bowen's in DeWitt County.
Yeah.
And now, so Sheriff, I've just always actually called him Mr. Pinky. I don't even know Pinky's last name.
Gonzalez.
Pinky Gonzalez in Refugio County. This is his last term, isn't it?
Probably so. I think he's gonna. Not run.
I think he had said that when he was on the air that this might be his last go. Everybody says that early in their term. You know, this is the last one. But then when you get down to handing over a department you've built and a rapport and the guy, it's kind of like
It's kind of hard to pass on a baby.
See Aaron Rodgers, you know, leaving and going on to the Jets. Yeah. Does the new sheriff? A new sheriff automatically become a member of the Alliance?
That's a great question, Brent. Actually, the process is on our bylaws, in our infrastructure for the Alliance is, as a new sheriff comes on board and gets elected or replaced or whatever, then if he wants to be in the Alliance, it's specific. And then he will fill out an application, and there'll be a committee assigned, and then he'll be vetted, and that report will be brought to the Alliance board and the Alliance membership, and all of the Alliance membership will vote on that person's entry into it. So you just don't take office and you're just a member.
I like that.
Organization like that, huh?
And it is somewhat fluid. Well, I mean, it's a no-nonsense deal. They make their own rules.
Yep.
But it is somewhat fluid because I know, if I remember right, that originally, say, Goliad County with Sheriff Boyd, he was in the Alliance, and now effectively, whether formally or not, I think he's essentially out of the Alliance. So they're kind of doing their own thing in Goliad County. It doesn't make it good or bad. It's just different. Mm-hmm. And these sheriffs have all worked together for years now. And
very long time.
I thought it was genius when you guys form this united front, because what it tells for lack of the right phrase, what it tells the cartel is that, hey,
it also tells the federal government too.
Well, that's right. We may watch you come through Refugio County. We may watch you go through Victoria County. Mm-hmm. You get to Jackson County, we're going to arrest you.
Well, they got that new trailer now that reads the license plates out there. I thought that was ingenious.
I'm not reading what am I missing? Oh, let's see. Okay, Peter McNally says, ask the sheriff, you know Peter McNally, ask the sheriff, why has Texas border immigration become so complicated when it was basically overlooked for many years?
Because the numbers, really, is the numbers and the policies of the Biden administration have altered, like this week. For Peter, if he doesn't know, the parole system, which has been adopted as a new policy. We have a parole system at the border. So right now, the federal government is doing such an efficient job at bringing them in and assigning them papers and giving them parole status into the United States until their paperwork can be done, or they can get to a federal judge and hear their case for their asylum status, asylee status. The numbers are so large, they won't even tell us what that is.
I don't even think they know.
I just saw the other day where
really
DHS gave them another $333 million all to the NGOs. So to really address this question, it was managed. If you want to go back to the Trump administration, the border was stable. It was organization. It had everything it needed because the law was being followed there.
Right.
Well, and to a degree,
under this administration, it's not that they're not following the law, which is true, but they've changed the policies. If you change a policy, just think about your employees that you have. You all work.
Right.
You all work. Every company has policies. Well, the federal government has policies, and those can be rewritten by the executive branch. And so now Border Patrol has a policy. Well, this is the law. Well, we're not going to enforce the law.
Right.
This is our policy now. And so if you want to stay employed here and you want to retire for a federal retirement at age 57,
You no longer do that.
Then you'll
Right.
follow the policy.
Right.
And you'll do this. So as the laws were altered and not followed, policy has been followed. And so that's what we find ourselves in now.
And it's worth noting this is really a bipartisan issue because if you go back, I attribute a lot of the success that Donald Trump had at the border to a continuation and an adaptation of Barack Obama's policies. Barack Obama ran on a platform way back when, 4 years ago, 8 years before that, 2002 or 4, whenever he was elected, of saying we must seal our southern border. I mean, Barack Obama, when he brought Mayorkas on,
Jay Johnson was a DHS director.
and those guys were all about, I mean, they said that Trump put people in cages.
That was Obama.
But Barack Obama built
Built
those detention centers. Trump just used them.
Exactly.
So the Biden administration's policies have even abandoned his mentor, Barack Obama. And Mayorkas has had a complete, observable, about-face change of attitude. Now all of a sudden he's like,
no honor.
yeah, he's got no honor. Is absolutely, and people in
somebody's
D.C.
got
are
something
calling
on him.
for impeaching him.
I bet you.
Well,
yes,
yeah, Bill Clinton was all about sealing the border.
Yep.
You know, Obama was called deporter in chief.
That's right, the
one of
deporter in
his-
chief.
One of his
I remember him being
nicknames.
called that.
And so as these costs escalate, I think what we have to do is follow the money. And for Mr. McNally, it's a great question, but I think it'll cost him too. It's going to cost all of us, not just in social services. It's calling a social upheaval. We've got cities against cities. We've got states against states. We've got, you need to take these people here. You need to take these people here. Look at New York City, what they're doing.
Right.
Trying to ship all over the state. So as the numbers grow, the social upheaval continues to sow, and the social costs of this. We haven't even talked about the crime costs. We haven't even touched that. We're talking about the social costs, your hospitals, your schools, all of your social infrastructure. How
Right.
many houses do we have? How many rent houses are available in the United States today?
Well, New York took one of the most nicest hotels, kicked all the waited until everybody left, and then put immigrants in there.
So you have to ask yourself as a Texan or as an American, where are these people going to go? We run out of rent houses. I mean, where are they going to go? And it is, it's really it's a concern.
No doubt about it. I tell you,
long-reaching.
Especially when they're not letting they should put veterans in there and
Should.
not the illegals.
as we head into an election year, our election cycle comes around next November, I am anxious about the concept or the challenge of avoiding some type of civil upheaval. I think as the heat comes on and as the chasm between right and left gets larger and larger, I do worry about violence. I don't know how, as law enforcement, do you prepare for in broadest strokes a civil war? How do you prepare for that as law enforcement?
Well, there's no preparing. I mean, you do what you can. Just the resources are there. They'll have to go to more of a militaristic approach.
Absolutely.
To get the people. There's no other way around that.
Yes,
But
sir.
I see as the tide kind of turns, the Justice Department right now is doing everything they can to take Donald Trump out.
Absolutely.
and
No doubt.
that's a concern to me and to every law-abiding citizen here on what they're doing. And so this is something we all have to watch and pay attention to, as they have attacked this man like no other. I think they fear no man like Donald Trump. I think that's, that's
he's
really the question.
outside and not really a Republican and not really a Democrat but always consistent. And we've talked about it here that, you know, he told you it was Hunter's laptop. He told you the virus came from China.
Everything he said has come true.
He may not have said it in a way that made you feel good about, China. Maybe that offends you, but it was the truth.
The truth.
So, Sheriff, as always, we've been visiting with Sheriff A.J. Louderback. I call him America's Sheriff. I also call him a dear friend, and we always appreciate your accessibility, sir.
Thank you
and
very much.
appreciate you for
Thank you
coming
all
in. We'll get you back. I'll get you a block of ice, and you can bring some shorts. I don't think I've ever seen the man in shorts.
I'm sorry.
He's
man's
always
heating
in.
up the room. I mean, it was hot in here, but
There you go. He does heat up the room, doesn't he? Well, he's nuclear.
that's it.
There you go, folks.
Don't hit his timer.
We're gonna get out. We
See y'all
hope,
later.
hope you
Take
have a
care.
great weekend. We love you, folks. We'll see you
See you guys later. Thanks, Brent, for inviting
Monday.
me on.
I'll be here Monday. It's gonna hurt, but I'll be here Monday.